Have you ever stopped to think about the power of ancient wisdom and how it could transform your life today? We live in a fast-paced world where we're always chasing the next big thing, whether it's a new app, a new trend, or the latest self-improvement hack. But in the midst of this constant rush, we might overlook one of the most valuable resources available to us: the timeless teachings passed down through generations. These aren't just ancient stories, they are profound truths that can guide us in ways we never imagined. Imagine being able to unlock the secrets to true happiness, health, and balance, not from a new gadget or quick fix, but from centuries-old wisdom that has stood the test of time. Buddhist teachings, for example, have been passed down for over 2,500 years. And they're not just relics of the past. They offer us keys to understanding ourselves, calming our minds, and living more harmoniously with the world around us. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical strategies that we can use every single day to improve our lives. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, stressed, and disconnected. We're bombarded with information, distractions, and expectations. Yet, in the midst of all this chaos, the teachings of Buddhism offer us a roadmap to inner peace and well-being. What if you could tap into this ancient wisdom and start living a more peaceful, focused, and balanced life today? In this video, we're going to explore 10 powerful Buddhist principles that have the potential to radically change your health, happiness, and well-being, from meditation to mindful living. These principles are not just concepts, they are practical tools that you can start using right now. Whether you're dealing with stress, seeking better emotional balance, or simply trying to live a more fulfilling life, these teachings will guide you on your journey. Now, you might be wondering, how can something so ancient possibly apply to my modern life? That's exactly what we're here to discover. These principles have been helping people for centuries, and they are just as relevant today as they were back then. In fact, they might be exactly what you need to break free from the pressures of modern life and rediscover a sense of inner calm. So, are you ready to explore how these ancient teachings can bring about lasting change in your life? I invite you to take a deep breath, open your mind, and join me on this journey. As we dive into these 10 principles, I promise you will walk away with practical, actionable insights that you can use to live a healthier, more vibrant, and more peaceful life. Stay with me, and let's unlock the secrets to a life of balance, joy, and true wellness. 1. Meditation and mind-body harmony. When we speak of meditation, many of us envision a moment of stillness, sitting in a quiet room, trying to block out the noise and distractions of the world around us. While that is one aspect of meditation, it is not the whole picture. Meditation is a profound, dynamic practice that goes far beyond the silence of sitting still. It's an active engagement with the present moment, a process of tuning in, realigning, and reconnecting with ourselves at a deeper level. It is in this active practice that we begin to experience harmony between our mind and body. A harmony that transforms how we feel and how we move through the world. Imagine, for a moment, that your mind is like a bustling city street, cars honking, people rushing in all directions, a constant blur of noise and activity. In this scenario, your thoughts are like the traffic, endlessly driving in different directions, each vying for attention. Meditation, in its simplest form, offers you the opportunity to become the calm observer on the sidewalk, watching the busy traffic without getting swept up in it. It's not about pushing away the noise, not about silencing the world completely, but rather about creating a space within yourself where you can watch those thoughts come and go, without feeling the need to follow them. This is where the magic of meditation lies, the ability to create stillness within. Amidst the chaos outside, I remember a time when life felt particularly overwhelming, the kind of stress that lingers in your body and mind throughout the day. I was juggling responsibilities at work, managing personal commitments, and yet always feeling as though I was racing against time. It wasn't until I decided to carve out just 10 minutes every morning for meditation that I began to see a shift. At first, it seemed like a small act, but in those 10 minutes, I gave myself permission to stop, to breathe, and to reconnect with my inner self. Within days, I noticed how my stress levels began to drop. I wasn't just rushing through life anymore. I was becoming more present, more aware of each moment. My thoughts were no longer controlling me, I was becoming the observer of them. In those moments of quiet meditation, I began to realize how often I had been operating on autopilot. We all did, don't we? Moving through life without fully engaging with the present moment. Meditation taught me how to embrace the now, the breath, the sensations in my body, the sounds around me. It helped me slow down and reconnect with the deepest parts of myself. And in doing so, I discovered that peace wasn't something to be chased or found. It was something I could cultivate from within. What's truly fascinating about meditation is the wealth of scientific research that supports its benefits. Studies show that regular meditation can significantly reduce stress, improve sleep, and even enhance immune function. But beyond the scientific findings, there's a profound personal experience that comes from practicing meditation. It doesn't matter if you're sitting quietly, walking in nature, or stretching your body through yoga. Meditation is about being fully present in whatever activity you engage in. It's not the physical stillness that matters most, it's the mental and emotional stillness. The ability to truly be here, right now. You don't need to meditate for hours to experience these benefits. 10 minutes, just a few minutes a day, can help rewire your brain, helping you respond to stress in healthier ways, improving your emotional resilience, and sharpening your focus. Meditation encourages you to reconnect with the breath, the most basic and natural part of being alive. With each inhale and exhale, we are reminded that we don't have to control everything. Life will come, and it will go. Our thoughts, too, will come and go. The trick is to observe them, to be present with them, and to let them pass without becoming tangled in their web. What meditation offers us is not an escape from the world, but a way to engage with it in a more balanced, harmonious way. By taking those few minutes each day to simply breathe, to sit, to be still, we open ourselves up to a life filled with greater peace, clarity, and connection. Meditation doesn't just reduce stress, it helps us cultivate a deeper sense of well-being that permeates every part of our lives. It's about learning to navigate the chaos of life with a calm heart and a focused mind. And the beauty of meditation is that it's not a one-size-fits-all practice. It's flexible, it's personal. You can practice it in the way that resonates most with you, whether that's in the silence of your room, while walking through the park, or as you flow through yoga. The heart of meditation is mindfulness, the art of being fully aware in each moment. And that, my friends, is where the magic begins. 2. The power of positive thinking. Now that we've explored the stillness and calm that meditation can bring to our lives, let's turn our attention to another powerful force that can shape our reality: the power of positive thinking. This is not about pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring the challenges that come our way. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even when things aren't ideal. Positive thinking is a choice, one that empowers us to approach life's obstacles with a sense of hope and possibility. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. When we embrace positive thoughts, we illuminate our path, allowing us to see the potential and opportunities that lie ahead. I can personally attest to the transformative power of positive thinking. There was a time when I felt completely trapped in my career. I was working long hours, but it seemed like I was getting nowhere. The obstacles felt overwhelming, and it was hard to see a way forward. But instead of allowing myself to remain stuck in that mindset of frustration and doubt, I made a conscious decision to shift my focus. I started to look for the small wins, the tiny successes I could build on. I made it a habit to visualize the possibilities and remind myself of my strengths. Every day, I focused on the good, even if it was just a small thing. And gradually, I began to see a shift. My energy changed. I approached my challenges with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Positive thinking is not about wishful thinking or denying reality. It's about using our thoughts as tools for empowerment. It's about choosing to see the silver lining in every cloud, the lesson in every setback. I realized that I wasn't powerless in my situation. I had the ability to change how I viewed it. Rather than fixating on what I couldn't control, I chose to focus on what I could. And in doing so, I began to feel more in control of my life. There's a profound impact when we adopt a positive mindset. Studies have shown that people who practice positive thinking regularly experience better physical and mental health. They tend to have lower levels of stress and cope better with challenges. When we focus on positive thoughts, we not only change our internal state, but we also signal to our bodies and minds that we are resilient. We're telling ourselves, no matter what comes, I have the strength to handle it. It's like building inner armor, a mental fortitude that protects us from the effects of stress and negativity. But positive thinking doesn't mean that difficulties disappear. It doesn't make challenges vanish into thin air. Instead, it changes how we approach those challenges. When we approach life with a positive mindset, we look for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. We seek opportunities rather than feeling defeated by setbacks. It's about changing the narrative in our heads, from, "This is too hard," to, "I can find a way through this." It's a shift in perspective, and this shift makes all the difference. And the beauty of positive thinking lies in its ripple effect. Positivity is contagious. When we radiate positive energy, it naturally influences those around us. Just as negativity can spread and bring others down, positivity lifts people up. Think about it. When you're around someone who is upbeat and hopeful, it's hard not to feel uplifted. That's the power of positive thinking, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. By choosing to focus on the good, we create a more supportive, uplifting environment for everyone we encounter. We become a source of light, and in turn, we inspire others to choose the light as well. It's also important to remember that positive thinking doesn't require us to deny or suppress our emotions. It's not about pretending everything is okay when it's not. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's okay to feel sadness, frustration, or anger. Positive thinking is about accepting those emotions, but choosing not to be controlled by them. It's about recognizing that we have the power to decide how we respond to our circumstances. We can acknowledge the difficulty, but we can also choose to see the opportunity for growth. We can feel the challenge, but we can also choose to believe that we are capable of overcoming it. As you begin to incorporate more positive thinking into your life, you might find that it becomes easier over time. Like any skill, it takes practice, it takes patience, but the rewards are undeniable. You'll find yourself feeling more energized, more hopeful, and more resilient. You'll approach challenges with greater confidence, knowing that you have the ability to navigate them. And most importantly, you'll begin to see the world through a lens of possibility rather than limitation. Positive thinking is not a magic cure-all, but it is a powerful tool. It's the key to unlocking a more joyful, fulfilling life, and the more you practice it, the more you'll begin to notice its transformative effects, not only within yourself but in the world around you as well. 3. Self-love and self-care. Having explored the transformative power of positive thinking, let's now shift our focus to another fundamental yet often overlooked concept: self-love and self-care. These two are not just feel-good ideas. They are the very foundation upon which your entire well-being is built. Think of self-love as the roots of a tree. Without strong roots, the tree cannot stand tall or thrive. Similarly, without self-love, we struggle to grow, heal, and flourish in life. It is the unshakable foundation that allows us to rise above the challenges we face and truly connect with who we are. Self-love is not about striving for perfection. It is not about achieving some idealized version of yourself or pretending to have everything figured out. Instead, it's about embracing your whole being, your strengths, your weaknesses, your successes, and your failures. It's about accepting yourself as you are, with all of your imperfections, and treating yourself with the same compassion and kindness you would offer to someone you deeply care about. In my own life, I struggled with self-doubt for many years. I was constantly questioning my worth, always feeling like I wasn't enough, or that I had to do more, be more, in order to be deserving of love or success. This cycle of self-criticism drained me emotionally and mentally, leaving me feeling depleted. But over time, I learned that the path to peace began with accepting myself just as I am. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. But with practice, I learned to be kinder to myself, to let go of unrealistic expectations, and to embrace my imperfections. Self-love isn't something that magically appears. It's a practice that requires patience and conscious effort. The more I practiced, the more I found that my sense of inner peace began to grow. The truth is, self-love is essential because it sets the stage for everything else in your life. When you love yourself, you create space for healing, for growth, and for genuine happiness. If we don't nurture ourselves, we'll never be able to fully show up for others, nor can we tap into our fullest potential. In fact, the more we cultivate self-love, the more our entire life begins to shift. We stop striving for external validation and instead find strength from within. But self-love is not just a mindset, it's also about action. This is where self-care comes in. While self-love is the internal feeling of acceptance and appreciation, self-care is the outward expression of that love. It's about taking the time to nourish your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. We often think of it as something reserved for special occasions or something we can't afford to make time for. But the reality is that self-care is the most important thing we can do for ourselves. For me, one simple yet powerful act of self-care was taking regular walks in nature. This was not about doing something extravagant or productive. It was about giving myself permission to step away from the busyness of life and simply be. I allowed myself to disconnect from my to-do list, from the endless demands of work and responsibilities, and just enjoy the present moment. The act of walking outside, feeling the fresh air, and being surrounded by nature helped me reset and recharge my mind and body. It was in those quiet moments that I realized how much I had been neglecting myself in the rush of life. Self-care doesn't always have to be grand or complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to sit in stillness, reading a book you love, or indulging in a hobby that brings you joy. It's about finding ways to prioritize your own well-being, no matter how busy life gets. When we take time to care for ourselves, we're not being selfish, we're simply filling our own cup so that we have more to give to others. Think of it as putting your own oxygen mask on first during a flight. Only by taking care of yourself can you fully be there for the people you care about. Another form of self-care that made a significant difference in my life was establishing boundaries. It's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to everything and everyone, often at the expense of our own needs. But I learned that setting boundaries is an important act of self-respect. It's about recognizing your limits and honoring them, even if it means saying no. When we establish healthy boundaries, we create space for ourselves to rest and rejuvenate, and we teach others how to treat us with the same respect. Self-care, like self-love, is an ongoing practice. It's not something we do just once in a while, but rather something we incorporate into our daily lives. It's about consistently choosing to show up for yourself, to honor your body and mind, and to give yourself the love and care you deserve. And the more you make self-care a part of your routine, the easier it becomes to maintain. It becomes a natural part of who you are, just as necessary as eating, sleeping, or working. When we care for ourselves in these ways, we build a solid foundation for everything else in our lives. We become better equipped to face challenges with resilience, to cultivate meaningful relationships, and to pursue our dreams with passion. By investing in self-love and self-care, we not only enrich our own lives but we also become a better version of ourselves for the people around us. After all, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You must first fill your own heart before you can share that love with others. 4. Mindful eating and holistic health. Building on the concepts of self-love and self-care, let's now explore mindful eating, a practice that holds the power to nourish not just our bodies, but our entire well-being. Mindful eating is far more than just the act of consuming food. It's about how we engage with our meals, how we pay attention to our bodies, and how we approach each bite with presence and intention. In our modern world, it's all too easy to rush through meals, distracted by work, phones, or TV. We often eat without truly tasting, without fully experiencing the food we're putting into our bodies. But mindful eating encourages us to slow down, to savor every bite, and to deeply listen to what our body is telling us. I've personally experienced the shift that comes when we choose to eat mindfully. In the past, like many people, I would often rush through meals, eating quickly to get to the next task. I wasn't truly present with my food. But once I began practicing mindful eating, everything changed. I stopped viewing food as a mere source of calories or a means to fill a void. Instead, I started to see each meal as an opportunity to nurture myself, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. When I eat mindfully, I feel more connected to my body and to the food I'm consuming. It's no longer a mindless task, it becomes an act of care and self-respect. One of the most powerful shifts I experienced was learning to listen to my body. For so long, I ate out of habit or out of stress, without checking in with what I truly needed. When I began practicing mindful eating, I started paying attention to my body's cues. I noticed when I was full, when I felt energized, and when certain foods made me feel sluggish or heavy. By tuning in to these signals, I was able to make more conscious choices, choosing foods that energized and nourished me, rather than reaching for unhealthy options out of convenience or habit. This simple practice helped me stop overeating and instead eat in a way that felt more aligned with what my body truly needed. Mindful eating isn't about restriction or dieting. It's not about depriving ourselves of the foods we love or following rigid rules. Instead, it's about creating a balanced relationship with food. It's about respecting our bodies and giving them the nourishment they need to thrive. When we eat mindfully, we move away from the all-or-nothing mentality that often leads to guilt or shame around food. Instead, we learn to appreciate food as a source of energy, joy, and connection. It's about cultivating a sense of gratitude for the nourishment food provides, and taking the time to truly savor and enjoy it. The benefits of mindful eating are backed by science. Studies show that eating mindfully can lead to improved digestion, better weight management, and a greater overall sense of satisfaction with our meals. When we eat slowly and with intention, we give our bodies the chance to properly digest and absorb the nutrients from our food. We're also more likely to make healthier choices, as we become more aware of what our body craves and how it responds to different foods. This heightened awareness allows us to break free from mindless eating patterns and create a more balanced approach to food. For example, I used to find myself snacking out of boredom or stress, often reaching for junk food without thinking. But once I started eating mindfully, I realized that my body didn't actually crave those unhealthy foods. What I truly needed was something that would nourish me, not just in the moment, but in the long term. By listening to my body and eating with intention, I found that I no longer craved the sugary snacks or processed foods I used to turn to. Instead, I began craving fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, foods that supported my health and gave me lasting energy. Mindful eating also plays a significant role in how we relate to our emotions and our bodies. So much of our relationship with food is tied to emotional states. Stress, sadness, or boredom can lead to overeating or making poor food choices. Mindful eating encourages us to pause and check in with ourselves before we eat, to assess whether we're truly hungry or if we're eating to fulfill an emotional need. This practice helps us break free from emotional eating patterns, allowing us to approach food from a place of balance and self-awareness. It's important to remember that mindful eating is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about taking small steps to improve our relationship with food, one meal at a time. If you find yourself eating too quickly or not paying attention to your body's signals, that's okay. Simply begin again, slow down, breathe, and savor each bite. Over time, these small moments of mindfulness will accumulate, and you'll find that your overall relationship with food transforms. You'll feel more connected to your body, more at peace with your choices, and more in tune with your needs. Mindful eating also supports holistic health in a way that goes beyond just the physical act of eating. It encourages us to create a balanced, nourishing lifestyle that encompasses not only what we eat but how we eat, how we treat our bodies, and how we care for our minds. When we make mindful eating a priority, we're making a commitment to ourselves, a commitment to nourish not only our bodies but our minds and spirits as well. The power of mindful eating lies in its simplicity. It's a practice that allows us to step out of the fast-paced, distracted world and reconnect with the present moment. It teaches us to appreciate the food on our plates, to slow down, and to listen to what our bodies need. In doing so, we not only improve our physical health but also cultivate a deeper sense of well-being and fulfillment in our lives. Mindful eating is not a trend or a quick fix, it's a lifelong practice that nourishes the body, mind, and soul. 5. Healthy routines and habits. Building on the idea of mindful eating and holistic health, let's turn our focus to the power of healthy routines and habits. These small, everyday actions form the foundation of our well-being, shaping not just our physical health but our mental and emotional states as well. Our routines, whether we realize it or not, are the threads that weave together our lives, creating structure and stability. The habits we establish, from the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, influence how we feel, how we work, and how we navigate the world around us. And the beauty of it is that when we intentionally create healthy routines, We are essentially setting ourselves up for success and fulfillment. Every single day, I've personally experienced the transformative power of routines in my own life. Several years ago, I found myself overwhelmed and scattered, feeling like I was constantly racing against time. I was busy all the time, but somehow, I never seemed to accomplish what I truly wanted. That's when I decided to take control of my mornings. I started small, just a few simple practices to ground myself before the day started. I began with stretching, drinking a glass of water, and taking a moment to set my intentions for the day. I wasn't trying to do anything elaborate, but simply creating a sense of peace and focus in those first few moments completely changed my approach to the rest of the day. I noticed that my energy levels soared, my productivity increased, and I felt more centered throughout the day. What I realized is that routines provide us with much needed structure and clarity. In a world that's constantly in motion, where distractions pull us in every direction, routines help us stay focused on what matters. They serve as the backbone of our days, allowing us to manage our time more effectively, make healthier decisions, and maintain a sense of balance. But routines are not just about work or being productive. They're also about carving out time for rest and relaxation. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to forget that rest is just as important as productivity. In fact, it's essential to sustaining our energy and well-being. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is the importance of integrating moments of rest into our daily routines. It's tempting to view rest as something that happens only when we're exhausted. But true rest is intentional. It's about allowing ourselves to pause, to breathe, and to give our bodies and minds the space to recharge. Whether that's a short nap, reading a book, or simply sitting in silence for a few minutes, rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When we give ourselves permission to rest, we recharge our energy reserves, allowing us to show up as our best selves in everything we do. Exercise also plays a crucial role in any healthy routine. We often think of exercise as something that requires hours in the gym or a strict workout regimen. But the truth is, even small movements can have a profound impact on our overall health. I've found that even just a brisk walk or 15 minutes of stretching can do wonders for my energy, mood, and overall well-being. The key, however, is consistency. It's not about doing a perfect workout every day. It's about making movement a regular part of your life. Whether it's walking, yoga, or dancing to your favorite song, the point is to keep your body moving, to honor its need for activity, and to make exercise an integral part of your daily routine. The magic of routines lies in their ability to create balance. They help us manage our time more effectively, prioritize what's important, and maintain harmony between work, rest, and play. Healthy routines are a form of self-care, a way of nurturing ourselves in the midst of a busy world. They help us stay grounded, focused, and resilient, even when life gets chaotic. And perhaps most importantly, routines allow us to honor our bodies and minds in a consistent, loving way. As you start building your own healthy routines, remember that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Don't be discouraged if you miss a morning routine or skip a workout. It's the small, consistent actions that add up over time. It's about making choices every day that support your health and well-being. And gradually, you'll start to see the benefits of those choices in every area of your life. The more you prioritize your health through intentional routines, the more you'll find that you can handle life's challenges with greater ease, clarity, and energy. Ultimately, healthy routines are about creating a life that aligns with your values and supports your goals. They are the foundation upon which you can build a fulfilling, balanced, and joyful life. By establishing routines that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, you set yourself up for success in all areas of life. And you create the space to thrive, not just survive. So take a moment to reflect on your own routines. What can you change, add, or adjust to bring more balance and health into your daily life? Small steps, taken consistently, will lead you to greater well-being. 6. Embracing nature for healing. After exploring the importance of healthy routines and habits, we turn our focus to another powerful source of healing and well-being: nature. Nature has an incredible ability to heal us, both physically and mentally. In a world that often feels overwhelming, where we are constantly bombarded by noise, deadlines, and technology, spending time in nature offers a much-needed sanctuary. Whether it's walking through a quiet park, sitting by the sea, or hiking in the mountains, nature helps us to reconnect with ourselves, find peace, and restore balance amidst the chaos of modern life. I vividly recall one weekend when I felt particularly stressed and exhausted. The demands of work and personal life had taken a toll on me, and I was struggling to find clarity. On a whim, I decided to take a break and go hiking in the mountains. As soon as I stepped outside, I could feel the weight lifting from my shoulders. The fresh air filled my lungs. The gentle rustle of the leaves in the trees created a calming rhythm, and the sounds of birds singing high in the branches brought a sense of serenity. With each step, I felt myself growing more relaxed, more connected to the earth beneath my feet. The beauty of the landscape, the vastness of the mountains, and the peaceful solitude allowed my mind to settle. I began to breathe more deeply, let go of the tension I had been holding, and simply exist in the moment. It was as if nature had a way of putting everything into perspective, reminding me of what truly mattered. That experience left me with a profound appreciation for the healing power of nature. The simple act of stepping outside and immersing myself in the natural world was enough to restore my sense of balance. It's a reminder that we don't always need to seek external solutions or distractions to find peace. Sometimes, all we need is to reconnect with the earth and allow it to work its healing magic. Nature offers us a space to slow down, breathe, and simply be. Scientific research supports what many of us instinctively know. Spending time in nature can have profound effects on our well-being. Studies have shown that being in nature can lower levels of stress, reduce anxiety, and improve mood. Even more impressively, spending time outdoors can enhance immune function, boost creativity, and increase overall feelings of happiness and contentment. When we immerse ourselves in nature, our bodies and minds respond in ways that modern medicine cannot replicate. The simple act of breathing in fresh air, feeling the sun on our skin, or listening to the sound of running water has a calming effect on the nervous system. It lowers cortisol levels, the stress hormone, decreases blood pressure, and helps to reset the body's natural rhythms. Moreover, nature provides a sense of perspective that's often hard to find in our busy lives. When we are surrounded by the beauty and vastness of the natural world, we are reminded of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. This shift in perspective can be incredibly grounding. It helps us to step back from the constant pressures of daily life and see our problems in a different light. We begin to realize that our challenges, while important, are often temporary, and there's so much more to life than the stresses we face. Nature invites us to let go of the need for constant control and instead trust the rhythm of life. Perhaps one of the most healing aspects of nature is its ability to remind us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. In our modern world, it's easy to feel isolated, disconnected, and overwhelmed by the demands of work, family, and society. But when we reconnect with nature, we are reminded of our deep interconnection with the earth, with all living beings, and with the natural cycles that govern our world. This connection is healing because it restores a sense of belonging, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. We are part of a larger web of life, and that sense of interconnectedness can bring comfort and peace. Spending time in nature doesn't have to be a grand, elaborate experience. It can be as simple as taking a walk in the park or sitting under a tree for a few minutes. Even just opening the window to let in the fresh air or tending to a garden can have a restorative effect. The key is to be present, to truly engage with the natural world, and to let it nurture and calm you. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, it's easy to forget the simple yet profound healing power of nature. But by making time to step outside, whether it's to walk, hike, or simply sit in stillness, we can tap into a wellspring of peace and rejuvenation. Nature offers us a space to reconnect with ourselves, to slow down, and to heal in ways that no other activity can provide. It reminds us that true healing is not always about doing more or achieving more, it's about being, breathing, and embracing the world around us. 7. Simplifying for wellness. As we continue our journey toward well-being, we come to the powerful practice of simplifying for wellness. In a world that constantly encourages accumulation, whether of material possessions, responsibilities, or distractions, it's all too easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We are often caught up in the pursuit of more things, more tasks, more obligations. The problem with this is that, in accumulating, we sometimes forget that it's not the quantity of things in our lives that bring us true happiness, but the quality of what we choose to keep and focus on. Simplifying your life, both physically and mentally, is a transformative practice that allows us to make space for the things that truly bring us joy, clarity, and peace. I've personally experienced the profound benefits of decluttering, not just physically, but also mentally. A few years ago, I found myself overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff I had accumulated, clothes I didn't wear, books I hadn't read, and countless items that no longer served me. But beyond the physical clutter, I realized that my mind was equally crowded. There were too many commitments, too many distractions, and too much noise in my head. It felt as though I was constantly juggling obligations, always running to catch up, but never truly feeling fulfilled or at peace. So, I decided to simplify. The process began with letting go of unnecessary possessions. I took the time to sort through my belongings, keeping only what truly brought me joy or served a meaningful purpose. As I began to clear out the physical clutter, I noticed something remarkable. It wasn't just my living space that felt lighter, but my mind as well. When I got rid of things that no longer served me, I made room for mental clarity. I found myself less distracted, more focused, and better able to prioritize what truly mattered. Simplification isn't just about reducing material possessions. It's about clearing away the mental clutter that often weighs us down. We live in a world filled with constant distractions, from social media notifications to endless to-do lists. It's no wonder that so many of us feel mentally exhausted. When we simplify, we give ourselves the opportunity to step back and evaluate what is truly essential in our lives. What are the things that bring us joy? What activities nourish us and bring us closer to our true selves? What relationships deserve our time and energy? By simplifying, we make room for these things. And in doing so, we create space for greater peace and contentment. Living simply is not about stripping away everything that brings us joy or excitement. It's about being intentional with how we spend our time and energy. When we focus on what matters most, we begin to appreciate life's small pleasures. Instead of constantly striving for the next big goal or accumulating more possessions, we can savor the moments in front of us. A quiet cup of coffee in the morning, a walk in the park, or a meaningful conversation with a loved one. These simple moments become more precious when we simplify our lives. We become more present, more aware of the beauty in the everyday, and more connected to the things that truly nourish our souls. What I've learned through the process of simplifying is that it's not about depriving ourselves, but rather about choosing what we truly want to experience in life. It's about recognizing that less can often be more. Less clutter, less stress, less pressure to perform, and more space for what truly matters. Simplifying allows us to move through life with greater ease, without being weighed down by the excess that no longer serves us. When we simplify our lives, we also create space for greater well-being. We begin to see that we don't need as much to be happy. In fact, sometimes the pursuit of more things, more experiences, more distractions, can be a barrier to our happiness. By simplifying, we shift our focus from external achievements to internal peace. We begin to value time over things, experiences over possessions, and connection over consumption. This shift brings about a sense of joy and contentment that no material possession can provide. And simplifying isn't just about removing things. It's also about saying no to the things that drain us or no longer align with our values. Over time, I realized that saying yes to everything out of obligation or guilt was leading me down a path of burnout. By learning to say no, I created the space to say yes to the things that truly mattered: time for self-care, time for meaningful relationships, and time for personal growth. In doing so, I found that my energy and enthusiasm for life returned. I was no longer running on empty, but rather living in alignment with my deepest values. Simplifying for wellness is a process, a journey, not a destination. It's about making intentional choices every day to let go of what doesn't serve us and to embrace what brings us joy, balance, and peace. It's not always easy, especially in a world that constantly encourages more. But the rewards are undeniable. As we simplify, we make room for greater clarity, deeper connections, and a more fulfilling life. In the end, it's not the clutter, the commitments, or the distractions that define us, but the space we create to live a life that truly matters. Simplify, and watch your life transform. 8. Harnessing the subconscious mind. As we continue to explore the ways we can enhance our well-being, we arrive at one of the most powerful, yet often underutilized, tools we have: the subconscious mind. This part of our mind is a profound force that shapes our thoughts, our actions, and even our health. It is the silent driver behind much of what we do, influencing everything from how we approach challenges to how we react to situations. But when we learn to understand and tap into the subconscious, we gain the power to reprogram our minds in ways that support positive change, growth, and fulfillment. I've come to realize that the subconscious mind is like a vast reservoir of beliefs, memories, and patterns. These subconscious thoughts and beliefs often dictate how we experience the world. For years, I operated on autopilot, reacting to life's circumstances based on deep-seated beliefs I wasn't even fully aware of. These beliefs, about myself, about what I deserved, and about what I could achieve, were formed long ago and had been quietly shaping my life. It wasn't until I started paying attention to these subconscious patterns that I began to see how much control they had over my reality. The key to unlocking the power of the subconscious lies in the tools we use to engage with it. Visualization, affirmations, and meditation are three powerful practices that can influence and reprogram the subconscious mind. These practices allow us to plant new, positive thoughts and beliefs, which, over time, begin to reshape our reality in ways that serve our highest good. Visualization, for example, is a powerful way to communicate with the subconscious. By vividly imagining a desired outcome, we start to condition our minds to believe that it is possible. When I first started using visualization, I was skeptical. I couldn't quite grasp how imagining something could actually lead to change in my real life. But the more I practiced, the more I noticed that my mindset began to shift. I visualized myself succeeding in areas where I had once felt inadequate, be it in my career, in relationships, or in personal growth. I pictured the steps I needed to take, the confidence I needed to embody, and the success I desired. Over time, the images I created in my mind became more than just fantasies. They became blueprints for action, propelling me forward in ways I hadn't expected. Affirmations are another tool that helped me rewire my subconscious. At first, saying positive things to myself felt unnatural and awkward. I had spent so many years focusing on my shortcomings, on what I thought I lacked, that it was hard to imagine I could be successful, capable, or deserving of good things. But I began repeating affirmations, simple, positive statements like, "I am enough," or "I am worthy of success," or "I am capable of achieving my goals." At first, it felt forced, and I didn't fully believe it. But with time and consistency, those words started to sink in. Gradually, they became a part of my thinking. I started to notice changes in my behavior and mindset. I approached challenges with greater confidence, and I stopped doubting myself in situations where I once would have felt insecure. The affirmations, repeated consistently, began to change my inner narrative, allowing me to align my thoughts with the person I wanted to become. Meditation, too, plays an important role in tapping into the subconscious. It provides a space for us to quiet the noise of our busy lives and get in touch with our deeper selves. Through meditation, I learned to observe my thoughts without judgment. I could see which thoughts were serving me and which were limiting my growth. Meditation also allowed me to release old, outdated beliefs that were no longer useful. I could let go of fear, self-doubt, and negative thinking patterns that had kept me stuck. By clearing away these mental blocks, I made room for new, empowering beliefs to take root. Understanding the subconscious mind is a game changer. When we understand how it works, we realize that we have the power to change our limiting beliefs and replace them with thoughts that support our growth and well-being. Our subconscious is not set in stone. It is malleable and can be rewired with the right tools. Whether we are working to build self-confidence, overcome fear, or create more abundance in our lives, the subconscious mind is key to unlocking our potential. One of the most powerful realizations I had was that the beliefs we carry in our subconscious mind are not necessarily truths. They are simply patterns we've learned over time. And the beautiful part is that, just as we learned those limiting beliefs, we can unlearn them by replacing those old beliefs with empowering ones. we begin to shift our energy, our behaviors, and our outcomes. The more I practiced visualization, affirmations, and meditation, the more I saw my life changing in profound ways. The key was consistency and patience. Reprogramming the subconscious doesn't happen overnight, but every positive thought, every affirmation, and every moment of mindfulness brings us closer to the version of ourselves we want to be. Ultimately, the subconscious mind is a powerful ally in our journey toward wellness and personal growth. When we learn to harness its power, we unlock the potential to create the life we desire, one that is aligned with our deepest values and aspirations. By tapping into the subconscious, we have the ability to transform not just our thoughts, but our reality. It all starts with the belief that we are worthy of change, worthy of growth, and worthy of a life that brings us peace, joy, and fulfillment. 9. Limitations and opportunities in modern medicine. While modern medicine has undoubtedly revolutionized healthcare, offering incredible advancements in treatment and diagnosis, it's important to acknowledge its limitations. Modern medicine excels at treating symptoms and acute conditions, but it often focuses on alleviating the immediate discomfort or illness without addressing the root causes that contribute to these conditions. In many cases, this approach can be life-saving, and we must recognize the immense value it brings. However, it's equally vital to consider that healing is not always just about eliminating symptoms. It's about addressing the underlying factors that contribute to the development of illness in the first place. I've had the privilege of seeing firsthand how combining modern medical treatments with holistic practices can create a more comprehensive approach to health. As someone who has been through various treatments over the years, I have come to realize that while medical interventions are essential for immediate relief, true healing often requires a more nuanced and multifaceted approach. This is where practices like meditation, mindfulness, and healthy eating come into play, creating a balance that supports long-term wellness. I remember a time when I was dealing with a chronic health issue. I went through the usual channels, doctor visits, medications, and tests. While these interventions helped manage my symptoms, they didn't offer me a sense of true healing. That was when I decided to integrate holistic practices into my routine. Meditation became a crucial part of my daily life. It helped me manage stress and allowed me to become more in tune with my body's needs. I also began focusing more on mindful eating, paying attention not only to what I was eating but also to how it made me feel. These changes didn't happen overnight, but gradually, I noticed a shift. My symptoms became more manageable, and I felt more at ease with my body. The combination of medical treatment and holistic practices didn't just treat the symptoms, it allowed me to heal in a deeper, more lasting way. The key to this integrated approach is recognizing that modern medicine has its place in addressing immediate health issues and managing chronic conditions. Yet, it's essential to complement these treatments with practices that focus on prevention, lifestyle adjustments, and overall well-being. Holistic practices like meditation and mindfulness teach us to listen to our bodies, to slow down, and to understand the impact of stress on our physical health. Research has shown that stress is a significant contributor to many chronic conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, and even some forms of cancer. By incorporating mindfulness and meditation, we can reduce stress levels, improve emotional regulation, and promote better physical health, providing a more well-rounded approach to healing. Healthy eating is another critical piece of the puzzle. Modern medicine often treats illness through medications, surgeries, or other interventions, but the power of a healthy diet cannot be overstated. By nourishing our bodies with whole, unprocessed foods, we support our immune systems and provide the energy needed for recovery. This doesn't mean relying solely on food as a cure-all, but it's about making intentional choices to support our health in a more sustainable, preventative way. Through my own journey, I've realized that the integration of these holistic practices doesn't diminish the value of modern medicine, it enhances it. It's about creating a partnership between the two. For example, while a doctor may prescribe medication to manage an illness, meditation can help lower stress, improve sleep, and strengthen the immune system, all of which can aid in the healing process. Healthy eating can improve energy levels and enhance the body's ability to fight illness. These practices don't replace traditional medicine but work alongside it to create a more balanced and effective approach to health. By understanding both the strengths and limitations of modern medicine, we can make more informed decisions about our health. We don't have to view medicine and holistic practices as opposing forces. Instead, we can embrace them as complementary tools that work together to promote our well-being. It's not about rejecting modern medicine but about using it wisely in conjunction with lifestyle practices that nurture the mind, body, and spirit. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that health is not just the absence of illness. It's a state of balance, vitality, and peace. Modern medicine is invaluable in treating illness, but it cannot always address the root causes or promote the deeper healing that many of us need. Holistic practices like meditation, mindfulness, and nutrition can fill in the gaps, offering us a path toward a more complete and lasting form of wellness. In conclusion, the integration of modern medicine and holistic practices offers a more comprehensive approach to health. It's about recognizing the strengths of each and understanding that true healing comes from addressing both the symptoms and the underlying causes. When we combine the best of both worlds, we give ourselves the opportunity to live healthier, more balanced lives, equipped to face whatever challenges may come our way. By making informed choices and embracing both conventional and alternative practices, we empower ourselves to take control of our health and well-being. 10. Empowerment through self-healing. As we continue our journey toward holistic well-being, we arrive at one of the most empowering practices we can embrace: self-healing. It is easy to believe that healing is something that comes solely from external sources, doctors, medications, treatments. While these have their place, self-healing is about recognizing that we hold the power within ourselves to restore balance, rejuvenate, and promote lasting health. It's about understanding that our bodies possess innate wisdom, a natural ability to heal, but that this healing process requires our active participation, support, and nurturing. I have witnessed many remarkable transformations in people who chose to embrace self-healing practices. I've seen individuals struggling with chronic pain, emotional distress, and burnout who, through mindfulness, healthy eating, and positive thinking, made profound changes in their lives. These individuals didn't simply rely on quick fixes or temporary solutions. Instead, they cultivated habits that nurtured their mind, body, and soul. They became active participants in their own healing journey, learning to listen to the signals their bodies were sending and respecting their needs. Self-healing begins with the understanding that we are not passive recipients of health. We are co-creators of our wellness. Our bodies are incredibly resilient, and when given the right environment, whether through nourishing foods, regular exercise, or mental and emotional balance, they have the remarkable ability to restore themselves. But in order to tap into this healing potential, we must take responsibility for our own health. It's not about waiting for something to change, it's about becoming the change ourselves. One of the most transformative aspects of self-healing is learning to listen to your body. So often, we push through discomfort or illness, ignoring the subtle messages our body is sending us. We think we need to keep going, keep working, or keep meeting external demands, regardless of how our bodies feel. But when we tune in and pay attention to those signals, whether it's fatigue, pain, stress, or a lack of energy, we give ourselves the chance to respond with care and attention. I've experienced this firsthand. There have been moments when I was running on empty, feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, yet I kept pushing forward. But when I began to slow down, listen to my body, and honor what it needed, whether it was rest, movement, or nourishment, everything shifted. I found a deeper sense of vitality and clarity, and my health improved in ways I hadn't expected. Self-healing also requires us to embrace practices that nurture our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Mindfulness and meditation, for example, offer incredible benefits for mental health. These practices allow us to calm our minds, reduce stress, and become more present in our daily lives. When we meditate, we give ourselves the space to reset, to clear away the noise of the world, and to reconnect with our inner selves. This sense of peace and grounding is essential for healing. It's also a powerful tool for managing pain and alleviating stress. Healthy eating is another cornerstone of self-healing. The food we put into our bodies has a direct impact on how we feel, how we function, and how well we heal. I've learned that nourishing my body with whole, nutrient-dense foods not only supports my physical health but also enhances my mental clarity and emotional stability. It's about making conscious choices, choosing foods that fuel, nourish, and heal rather than deplete. It's easy to fall into the trap of unhealthy eating habits, especially in a world filled with processed, fast foods. But when we take the time to listen to our bodies and choose foods that truly nourish us, we give ourselves the gift of vitality and balance. Positive thinking plays a crucial role in self-healing as well. Our thoughts shape our reality. If we constantly focus on negativity, doubt, or fear, we are unconsciously reinforcing those beliefs in our bodies and minds. But when we shift our thinking to focus on possibilities, strengths, and growth, we align ourselves with healing energy. I have seen people completely transform their health and live simply by changing their mindset. Through the practice of affirmations and visualization, they were able to replace self-limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts, which in turn reshaped their experiences and health. Self-healing is not a quick fix. It's not something that happens overnight. It's about making lifelong changes in how we care for our bodies, how we nourish our minds, and how we manage our emotions. This journey requires patience, dedication, and compassion for ourselves. There will be times when we slip, when we struggle, or when we feel like giving up. But the key is to keep going, to continue taking small steps each day, and to trust the process. Healing is not linear, it ebbs and flows. And that's okay. What matters is our commitment to the journey and our belief that we have the power to heal. By taking responsibility for our health and making conscious, intentional choices, we empower ourselves to live healthier, happier lives. We stop waiting for external solutions and begin to recognize that the greatest healing power lies within us. We are the architects of our well-being, and through self-healing practices, we can create the life we deserve. The power to heal is not outside of us, it's within us, waiting to be awakened. When we embrace this truth, we unlock the potential for transformation, not just in our health, but in every aspect of our lives. As we wrap up this journey together, I hope these 10 principles have provided you with a new perspective on health, well-being, and the power you hold within to create positive change in your life. These aren't just rules to follow, they are pathways, each offering a step toward a healthier, more fulfilling existence. From the quiet power of meditation to the grounding presence of nature, and from the uplifting energy of positive thinking to the nourishing practice of mindful eating, each of these principles has the potential to help you create a more balanced, joyful life. By integrating these practices into your daily routine, you are not only supporting your physical health but nurturing your emotional and mental well-being as well. The beauty of these teachings lies in their simplicity. They offer small, intentional changes you can make today, changes that will build upon one another over time to create lasting transformation. It's not about making drastic shifts overnight, but rather about taking consistent, mindful steps toward a more vibrant, peaceful life. Start where you are, and allow these ancient practices to guide you gently toward a future filled with health, happiness, and harmony. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Embrace the journey with patience and compassion for yourself. Each day presents a new opportunity to connect with your inner strength, to make choices that serve your well-being, and to create the life you deserve. Every small effort you make, every positive choice, brings you one step closer to the life of balance and joy you seek. If you found these insights valuable, I encourage you to share them with others who might benefit from this wisdom. Together, we can create a community of individuals committed to growth, positivity, and living healthier lives. Your support, by liking, subscribing, and sharing, helps spread this message, bringing these teachings to those who need them most. Let's continue to inspire one another on this journey of self-discovery and healing. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and engage with this video. Your commitment to your own well-being is inspiring, and I truly hope these principles have sparked something positive within you. May you walk forward in health, happiness, and harmony. And as always, feel free to leave a comment below. Your thoughts, experiences, and reflections are a gift to this community. Let's continue to support each other as we grow, heal, and thrive together.